Hello, my name is Dan Taylor and I work at the Open University. Now, if you are an unpaid carer in Gateshead, or if you know someone who might be an unpaid carer in Gateshead, then we really want to hear from you. The Open University is doing research into finding out how unpaid carers in Gateshead have been impacted by changes to government spending on services carers might need, or the cost of living crisis. Now, what do we mean by those two things? Well, think about the services that carers might need provided by the government on a day-to-day basis. It could be NHS for the person that you care for. It could be social care services. This could be around care packages, getting a care worker to come into your home. It could be things that are more indirect, like funding for day centres or even carer services that you might rely on. Cost of living crisis is something that we hear about a lot in the news. Increases to gas, electricity, food, fuel. The big question is, have you been affected by this? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. That's what we want to find out. So what we're going to be doing is we want to recruit 15 unpaid carers in Gateshead. We'd like to interview you and do a couple of discussion groups and a reflective exercise. Now, these are what we're kind of wanting to get at with all of this is we want to kind of learn from your experiences. We want to put together what we're thinking of as a carers charter and a video that we're going to launch at Carers Week in June so that we can get carers' voices and experiences magnified and understood. We want to produce something so that we can approach policymakers, politicians, funders, and let them know how carers in Gateshead have been impacted by things like austerity, by government spending, by the cost of living situation, or not. We want to get a truthful picture after all. So what are we actually going to do? So we want to recruit you if you're interested and you're able to take part. We're going to be doing the interviews first of all in early Feb, so there'll be some dates. Somehow we'll magic them on the screen. The interviews will be done by me or my colleague Kitty Mackay, and what this will be like a 1 hour confidential chat, just talking about your experiences. We'll let you know the questions in advance. Then what we're going to do, we're going to set a reflective task, which is where we want you to kind of think at home, what have been your experiences as a carer? What's a good day? What's a bad day like in your experience? What could make life better for unpaid carers in Gateshead? In some ways, this is the key question. We want you to think about that with a reflective exercise. You can do it in the form of diaries, voice notes, a letter. You choose. It's open, and we can figure that out as we go along. Then there'll be discussion groups, one early March, I'll try and get a date on the screen, and then one at the end of March. Now, we know that when it comes to care and being an unpaid carer, and I've got personal experience of being an unpaid carer, one of the things that you don't often have is a lot of free time. We know that your time is very valuable. When it comes to the interviews, we'd like to do them at Gateshead Carers office, John Haswell House, near the Old Swallow Hotel. But if that's too difficult, we can always do them over the phone, and we can do them on Zoom. It's your choice. Now, we also want to compensate you for your time in some form. So if you're going to come to us, then we'll pay any travel expenses. And as a token of appreciation, we're able to give up to £100 in shopping vouchers for your involvement. That's £100 if you're able to take part in the interview, the 2 discussion groups, and the reflective exercise. So that's something there to think about. Now, with any open university study or any proper university study, we've got ethics approval to do this. If you take part, you can withdraw at any time. We're going to record the interviews and discussion groups, but they will be anonymised in the transcripts, and it will all be confidential. So just please bear that in mind. I think that's kind of it. So if this sounds like it could be of interest to you, then I would love it if you got in touch with me. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can send me an email. Maybe we'll make the email appear on the screen. My email is dan.taylor@open.ac.uk. I've also got a work number. You can call me up or you can text me and then I'll call you back. I'll just look down so I don't give you the wrong one, because that would not be very helpful, would it? Yeah, my work number is 01908 655 299. So we hope to hear from you. Thanks very much for listening.